Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our English Learning Podcast. Today, I am going to tell you a long story, a story about traveling. You will travel with me step by step from planning my vacation to the airport, to the airplane, to the hotel, and all the way until I return home. As you listen, you will hear useful travel vocabulary, common sentences, and many examples. I will explain them slowly and repeat them so that you can practice and remember. So let's begin our journey. I had been working very hard and I felt like I needed a break. So I decided to take a vacation. The first step in any vacation is planning. I opened my laptop and I started looking for places to visit. I thought about Paris, I thought about Tokyo, and I thought about New York. Finally, I decided, yes, I will go to Paris. When we talk about vacations, we often use these phrases. Like, I'm planning a trip, I'm going on vacation, or I want to travel abroad. Let's practice and repeat. I am planning a trip. I am going on vacation. I want to travel abroad. Good. I looked at the flights online. And I searched for tickets. The sentence we use for this is, I am booking a flight. To book means to reserve, to buy a ticket. So I booked a flight from my city to Paris. I also booked a hotel. The phrase is, I booked a hotel room, or you could say, I made a reservation at a hotel. Now, for the exciting part, packing my suitcase. I put in my clothes, my shoes, my passport, and my camera. Remember this important phrase. Don't forget your passport. When you pack, you can say, I am packing my suitcase. I need to pack my clothes. I must bring my passport. I checked everything twice because I did not want to forget anything. When the day finally arrived, I went to the airport early in the morning. At the airport, you need to check in. The sentence is, I am checking in for my flight. The airline worker asked me, may I see your passport? And I said, yes, here it is. After check-in, I went through security. Security asked me to put my bag on the machine. They said, please remove your laptop. I, of course, followed the instructions. After security, I waited at the gate. The gate is the place where you enter the airplane. Soon, the announcement came. Flight 228 to Paris is now boarding. Boarding means getting on the plane. I gave my ticket, I walked down the tunnel, and I entered the airplane. I found my seat. I said hello to the person sitting next to me. On the plane, the flight attendant said, please fasten your seatbelt. We are ready for takeoff. Takeoff means the plane is leaving the ground. The plane started to move, and then suddenly, up into the air we went. I looked out the window and saw the city below me becoming smaller and smaller. During the flight, the attendant served food and drinks. The sentence is, would you like chicken or pasta? And I answered, I would like chicken, please. When you want to be polite, you always say please and thank you. I listened to music, I watched a movie, and I did try to sleep. After many hours, the pilot said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we are preparing to land in Paris." Land is the opposite of takeoff. The plane landed smoothly and everyone clapped. Now the real adventure began. At the airport in Paris, I went through passport control. The officer asked me, "What is the purpose of your visit?" I answered, "Tourism." They asked, "How long will you stay?" And I said, "I will stay for 1 week." Now here are some useful sentences. I am here on vacation. I will stay for 1 week. I am a tourist. After passport control, I went to get my luggage. Luckily, my suitcase arrived safely. Outside the airport, I looked for a taxi. I said, "Taxi, please take me to the Hotel Central in Paris." In English, when you take a taxi, you can say, "Can you take me to this address? How much is this fare?" The driver said, "It will be 50 euros. I said, "Okay, thank you." We drove through the city and I saw the Eiffel Tower in the distance. I was so excited. At the hotel, I went to the reception desk. I said, "Hello, I have a reservation." The receptionist asked, "What is your name?" I answered, "My name is Lydia." They gave me the room key and said, "Enjoy your stay." Now here are some important phrases. I have a reservation. What time is breakfast? And can I have the Wi-Fi password, please? The next morning, I started exploring Paris. I walked through the city, took photos, and enjoyed the view. When you explore a new city, you need directions. You can ask, "Excuse me, how can I get to the museum?" Or, "Where's the nearest metro station?" People are usually very kind and helpful. I visited the Louvre Museum, I saw the Mona Lisa, and I walked along the River Seine. At lunchtime, I went to a cafe. I said, "Can I have a coffee and a croissant, please?" The waiter said, "Of course." Now here are some useful restaurant phrases. Can I see the menu, please? I would like pasta. The bill, please. The food was delicious. Not every trip is perfect. One day, I took the metro, but I got lost. I went the wrong way and I ended up in the wrong station. I asked someone, "Excuse me, how do I get back to the Eiffel Tower?" The man explained the directions and I found my way. So remember, even if you have a problem, you can ask for help. The phrase is, "Excuse me, can you help me?" After 1 week, it was time to go home. I packed my suitcase again, checked out of the hotel, and went back to the airport. At checkout, you say, "I would like to check out, please." At the airport, I checked in, passed security, and boarded my plane. The flight was good, and soon I was back home. When I arrived home, I felt happy, but also a little tired. Traveling is wonderful. You see new places, meet new people, and learn so many new things. But it can also be exhausting, especially when you're traveling for lengthy times. Now, let's review some important travel phrases we learned today. I am booking a flight. I have a reservation. Please fasten your seatbelt. Where's the nearest metro station? Can you help me? If you practice these sentences, you will be ready for your next trip in English. Thank you for traveling with me today through this story. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe so that you know whenever there's another one. See you next time.